Yeah, I think it. Look, Padraig Harrington got the ball rolling. You know, he won the Open in '07 at Carnoustie, and then he obviously won the back-to-back majors in '08. And I think that the other Irish players looked at that, and that gave them belief. So, you know, GMAC goes and wins the US Open in 2010. I remember being at home in Northern Ireland after missing the cut that week, watching him do what he did at Pebble Beach, and I played basically all my practice rounds with GMAC at that point. And I thought, well, if he can win the US Open, then there's no reason why I can't. And then I go and I win the US Open the next year. And then you see, you know, Darren Clarke go and win at St. George's. And I just think that having people that you're close to and your peers do something that you may think is a little bit out of reach gives you that belief that you can do it. And I think just that momentum that we all had at that period in time, and in conjunction with the RNA looking at Royal Portrush to potentially host the Open Championship again, and then for it to go there, I think it's Irish golf. I think, you know, and the players that have come through and how well that we've done. But I also think it's a great representation of how far Northern Ireland has come in the last 30 or 40 years. You know, because in the 70s and the 80s and the 90s, you know, no one would have dreamt of hosting an Open Championship in Northern Ireland in those times. So I think it's a testament to the people of Northern Ireland for how far, you know, we as a country have come as well.
Hey Rory, I was going to ask something similar about Portrush, and obviously a lot of it occurred before your time, but you seem to have a good perspective on just how far that has come, and the idea that it's not only hosting one but now two in a short amount of time from where it came from. Do you have a good sense of that, maybe from your dad even, or, you know, people that you grew up with or were older than you?
Yeah, I mean, I lived a little bit of it, but I was, you know, I think my generation honestly couldn't care less about, you know, what had happened in the past, and, you know, everyone's, you know, just looking forward. But yeah, you know, my mum and dad both grew up in the, you know, 60s and the 70s, and, you know, Northern Ireland was a very different place. And yeah, it's I feel very fortunate that I'm of the generation I am, that I didn't have to deal with any of that, or very little of it. But yeah, it's come a long way, and I think just the support of, you know, I think people really appreciate when a huge sporting event that the world's eyes are on that week. You know, everyone there really appreciates that, and you know, excited to show the country in the best light possible.